Hi Sophie, welcome to Hobart Lived Experience of Suicide Summit 2023.
Thanks, John.
Lovely to have you here, and I've just got a couple of questions to ask you. Briefly describe your lived experience of suicide, and if you're okay, tell us a little bit about your lived experience of suicide.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a lived experience of a suicide attempt about 6 years ago. So I was in my early 20s. And so I was experiencing suicidal ideation and really struggling with my suicidal thoughts, which led to an attempt. And then since then, it's kind of been a driving force for me to use that experience to try and help others. I kind of had the mentality that something good had to come of it. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing since then.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff, isn't it? What would you say to someone else who's having their own thoughts of suicide?
Yeah, what I would say to someone else who's having thoughts of suicide is tell somebody. I know that's easier said than done because it can be quite a frightening thing, to be honest about that. But the saying that's really resonated with me through my whole experience is people begin to heal the moment they feel heard. And I guess another one is, pain shared is pain halved. And I think that it really is true, as cliched as it might sound. Find someone that you're comfortable with to tell them about your thoughts of suicide, and perhaps if that first person doesn't respond in the best way, or maybe they don't give you the help you need, try and find someone else. Don't give up, because being honest about it and having it out there, I think is a first step in kind of recovery or in getting support and help.
Yeah, absolutely. I found myself that it really sort of diffused how I was feeling to openly talk about it with someone and feel safe about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what was the greatest challenge you faced in overcoming your attempt? What sort of barriers did you face afterwards, and what do you think we need to change?
Yeah, I mean, the greatest challenge, I guess, was sort of going, what now? What do I do now? It's like once you're back out in the world, how do you move on from that? And I think a big thing for me was that my suicidal thoughts and ideation didn't stop just because I'd had an attempt. It wasn't like, I'd done that and now I was moving on. I was still living with it. So that was a real challenge to then sort of keep going now with this added traumatic experience of the attempt. So that was really tough. And I guess what I would say to people in that experience, it's sort of like you just get through it. You keep going. It's so strange and so cliched, but that's like, it's all a blur to me. But I'm like, those challenges, when I sort of went, what now? Where to from here? Just wake up the next day and I'd say, gosh, what now? Where to from here again?
Go and get the paper and the milk.
Yeah. And then it keeps happening every day until it doesn't anymore.
Yeah. Wow. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself after your attempt, and what would you say to yourself now if you were in that position, looking back?
Yeah. I think after the attempt, I would say, it's similar to my last answer. I would say, it will change. This isn't permanent, in the same way that with the suicidal thoughts before the attempt, nothing's permanent and neither is this. In the same way that the good times aren't permanent, neither are the bad. So I would say that, and know that for me, I would say one day you'll be able to use this for positive change, or to help other people, or to just make someone feel less alone. One day this will be, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, worth it almost. This will have some value and this isn't in vain. And I think that applies to all lived experience, that in the moment it can feel horrible, but knowing that you can actually use it and harness it, and it doesn't have to define your life negatively.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. And just thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, John.